Hello, everyone. It is the evening before the election tomorrow, August 2nd. I'm sure everybody is excited about going to vote. I know I'm excited to cast my ballot. Can't wait to vote in that gubernatorial primary too. I wanted to address everybody because I know that there are a lot of questions. I've received a lot of phone calls. I think the opposition at this point has resorted to outright smear tactics in order to win. I'm very proud to announce that me and my team have been door knocking since March 1st. When the snow was literally falling on my head, I was out there door knocking because I actually care about what you, the voters, think. I want to actually represent you. I want to be as grassroots as possible, actually accountable to the people, which is why I started door knocking March 1st. Me and my team, as of today, have knocked on approximately 15,000 doors. And if you're estimating, let's say 2 people per home, per condo, per apartment, whatever, that's about 30,000 people that me and my team have attempted to contact. That's I think, as best as you can do under the circumstances when you are an authentically grassroots campaign, meaning we did not take any money from any of the corporate or lobbyist PACs. We wanted you to know that you could fully trust us, our team, me as a candidate, that we, as an America First candidate team, we're always going to put you, the voters, first, not the dark money interests. I think it's important for everybody to be aware. I've calculated the sheer number of dollars spent on mailers. I know in my experience, it costs just over $7,000 to do a mailing to all of the likely Republican primary voters in this district. And at last count, there were 27 mailers sent out from my opponent's camp, whether it was him personally or from PACs in his favor. That accounts to roughly $200,000 for mailers alone. $200,000 for mailers alone. And according to the Detroit News, this is the number 2 hottest race in Michigan. By the end of tomorrow, it may be number 1 based on how much money they plan to spend between now and tomorrow when the polls close at 8 p.m. Something that I've prided myself on is that my number 1 issue has always been election integrity. And when I say that, I really do mean it. If somebody is telling you that Michigan elections are secure, there is a bridge in Brooklyn they can probably sell you to. Nobody in Michigan should be telling you that our elections are perfectly secure because there are gaping holes in Michigan election laws that can be easily exploited. For example, in the state of Michigan, it's legal for simply a clerk and their deputy clerk, who is appointed, I might add, not elected. So we the people don't choose who the deputy clerk is. That's appointed by the clerk. The clerk and deputy clerk can go behind closed doors in that back room and count the vote. Now, if you have a crooked clerk who wants to rig an election, they can do so fairly easily. When the polls close at 8 p.m., they have the final list of everybody who showed up to vote at that election. They simply have to do a matter of subtraction. You know, based on the list of people who did vote, you have the total number of registered voters. You can see who didn't show up to vote. And in the computer, because all of this is done in the qualified voter file or the electronic poll book, you can simply assign ballot numbers to the names of voters for the voters who did not show up on election day, and then shove those ballots through the tabulator. So that is something that can happen. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it always does. I'm saying it can. And because it can, it's likely that it may have happened in the past. It's likely that it may happen again. And these are the kinds of gaping holes in Michigan election laws that I've been committed to fixing from day one. I've also been committed not to taking any dark money, which is why the establishment and the dark money have dumped. At this point, my estimation is probably $500,000 into this campaign. Why is it that a 25-year-old Trump-endorsed candidate who has, a college degree from Hillsdale, worked for the clerk's office, worked for U.S. Congress, worked for the Trump campaign, why is it that the DeVos family in particular would want to spend $500,000 trying to defeat me? It's because I am sincere in my belief that we need to put America and Americans first. I have never compromised on this. I've taken a lot of heat because there was a tweet that I sent out back in, I believe it was April, where I said, America, it's time to admit that America has become systemically unjust because the elites made it so by selling out the good of the common American for money and power. And I stand by that statement. I think most people agree that at this point we are living under an oligarchy. This is not a democratic republic anymore, because too often it is the billionaires who fund our politicians so that our politicians can cut them checks from the public dole. So you pay your tax dollars. You expect that money to go to fixing the roads, improving our schools, funding our fire department and our police department. But where it actually goes is to giving corporate welfare to multinational billion-dollar businesses. That's what happens. And it happens because billionaires fund our politicians and they're expected to give them kickbacks. I will never do that. I have made that very clear. I've made it clear that I will never compromise on my conservative Christian America First values. And that is why I am a sincere threat to the regime and why the regime has decided to spend potentially $500,000 trying to get me to lose. Now, I'm very confident that we will win because we have put in the legwork. We have, as I said previously, knocked estimated 15,000 doors, which equates to my estimation 30,000 voters. That is a lot of voter contact. But again, because Michigan election laws are easy to exploit, as I previously stated how it can be exploited, we are up against the beast. Of course, I ask for your vote. I ask for your prayers. I ask for you to just entrust this race to God and know that we are fighting so that our kids can have a free and bright future. The way it feels right now, I'm getting married in January. I'm very excited for this. And I want to start a family. I'm looking forward to starting a family. But the way the country is going, it seems like my kids will not grow up free. It seems like we are quickly falling into a one-party system, which is an oligarchy, and they want us under totalitarian rule. I do not want my kids growing up in that. I know that you don't want your kids and grandkids growing up in that. That is why I'm fighting now, so that my children and your children and grandchildren can live free in the country that our ancestors bestowed upon us. And many people who came here from other countries, especially from Eastern Europe or communist countries like Cuba or Venezuela, they remember what communism was like. And they see those same signs occurring in the United States. And they're terrified that the country they fled to be free is turning into the country that they left. I will continue to fight to make sure that that does not happen. I thank you all for the trust that you've put in me to run this race, to run it as clean as possible, to not resort to dirty smear tactics, to fight with integrity. I know tomorrow is going to be a big day. I look forward to victory. We will win. I promised President Trump that I would win for him. And we are going to put America first, finally, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you guys. I love you all. God bless you. I can't wait to be your state representative.